The Ambassador has arrived. It's not perfect. There is some rot. Some rot. Is it fixable? Actually, yeah, because it doesn't have to look perfect because it's hidden. You know, there's a little bit of... Come on, focus. Yo. Focus. Some rot. Again, this is fixable here. It's a nice flat spot with just a single curve. I could cut it to the body line and then just bend it. Do like a smooth bend. So that's not an issue. Again, this is not great. Fixable. Again, some cheddar in the trunk, but solid metal underneath, so it's not really too big of a deal. Again, all stuff that I can fix with the limited tools that I have. There's some cheddar on the bottom of the door, but the position on the door skin should be solvable without too much trouble. Again, with the limited tools I have, straight, flat panels, complex curves that need, you know, a whole shop and an English wheel and a shrinker stretcher is just out of my reach. So, you know, straight panel rot is not even an issue to repair at all. So, a few dents to take care of. That's solvable. However, this guy comes with the 390. With complimentary hantavirus. Yep. Fresh hantavirus. Otherwise, it's pretty good. Yeah, there's a buckle here. This is leading. It's not rot. It's lead. And they attach the roof on. They used lead on the seams, and that's from that. And probably helped along by this. But again, it's a project car. It's not perfect. Somebody tried to do the old silicons fix for a bit of rust here. Again, it's pretty simple. You got a nice straight body line here. All right, you don't have a lot of curvature on this line. And it goes down into the channel. And the channel's pretty sound, so even though there's rust right there at the channel, you can usually clean it and then use your put a little tiny flange on it and then just weld your patch piece in right there into the existing surface once you've cleaned it. So it's really a straightforward fix. This dent might be a little harder to take care of. And this one's a little dubious, but again, it's probably fixable. This one just needs to be hammered down. Again, it's just lead. So that's a non-issue. You know, the car's been scraped. Something about old people and big cars. Again, door skin could use a little bit of love down there. That's not a big deal. Still has the Ambassador badging. Look at that. So that'll be interesting. Someone, look at that. Someone towed on the bumper there. That's not an impact. That's someone hooked a chain up to that or a hook up to that and bent the freaking bumper. Yeah, it's always mystery meat. You know, and even though this has got, the green on it here, right? Still got the what looks like the original green paint. When you see a roof that's rusted like this, and it's not like a rot rust, but it's this like surface rust, well, here's your answer. See that? That's vinyl. This is a vinyl top car. And so I'm kind of surprised to see the overspray here. But yeah, vinyl top car. So that's kind of cool, actually, that someone removed the vinyl top before things like the A-pillars here rotted through, because especially down here the vinyl traps the moisture because it runs down and then it just eats right through the A-pillar right here at the base of the window. At least it does on the old 71 to 74 Javelins. I had a couple where I had to completely re-weld this. Again, this isn't too hard a thing. If you ever have to re-weld an A-pillar, it's actually not that bad because you don't have a lot of compound curves. You got a slight roll in the metal here. It's very slight. So you can blend it like, if you have, this is leading, so you got to go below the leading. You can blend it there with a nice flange and then bend it on the inside here. All right. You do like I was showing in the water, in the roof rail, right? See? It's got a little lip here. That's probably where the rust is on the other side. I don't think anyone would even notice that I wouldn't restore this little lip here to the patch on the other side. It's rotted. I might even put a vinyl top back on this thing. You'll never know. But anyways, if you're below the leading, you just bend it into here, into the channel for the window channel. And then there's, trim pieces here, little basically studs. And you can stick new studs back on there using, if you like grind, you can grind some out of like old nails and stuff using a stud welder. And just weld on studs that are the right shape in the spots, as long as you mark them before you do them. So it's really not a problem. And the interior is lived in, as in lived in by an animal. And here's some, I don't know, raccoon poop, possum poop. It doesn't matter. So it needs the interior redone. The roof, the liner is not that great, but it's got the bows. And it's got some of the fiberglass. It's pretty torn up there. Probably from an animal. It may be fixable. And recoverable. Got some sag in it. I've got some resin. You can use thin down resin with acetone. It weakens it, but you can soak into these fiberglass panels and reinforce them. It's got a tilt steering wheel. Which is pretty cool. So the mystery is, will it run? And we don't know. There's currently no power getting to anything. And they tried hooking up some power to the solenoid down there. But they were running the negative terminal on the battery here. That's not going to work if our rodent friends chewed through or corroded through the grounding strap from the engine to the body. You're still not going to get any power flow if this is what you're using as your negative terminal. So that's probably why there's no power, but we'll find out, won't we? Oh look, AC. Now here's a fun thing. This AC compressor type is, again, probably useless. However, this same style was used in the Ford Mustangs of the same era. And that includes, all the holes drilled in it for brackets and that sort of thing. Of course, theirs, I think, was mounted horizontally, rather this one's vertical. And on the that side of the engine bay, if I remember correctly. And they sell new ones. Not in R12 form, but in like R134. So you don't have to go to Vintage Air or anything. If the rest of the system is sealed up well enough to do the job, you can get away with just replacing that. And maybe, again, because it's the same parts here, there's actually a high likelihood that I can probably find a dryer and a condenser coil set for it from the Ford series of cars. Probably the larger body, judging by the number of, like a Torino maybe, because of the size of this condenser is pretty big, and I don't think it would fit in the grill area of like a 69 series Mustang. So, don't know. It would be something to research. But on the other bright side, besides all the fresh hantavirus, Carter carburetor, 4-barrel. This little guy, 390 cubic inch 4-barrel. That is really unusual. And just AMCs in general from this era. Not a lot of 390 cars, and you know, to find it in a two-door coupe style for their top-of-the-line Ambassador series is even more unusual because most people are penny pinchers. So, yeah, we're gonna have some fun here. The trunk is rubbing on the body and getting stuck. It's not rubbing on this side, but it's rubbing on this side, and you can see the rub marks there. You can see it contacting right now. So if I was hazard a guess, this is caused by this, some buckle here. Yeah, it's solid here, pretty soft there. I could just weld in a new panel here. Just cut this panel flat here. Maybe roll some beads in it for strength, or just use like a bigger, heavier piece of steel. And just kind of ignore this structure here. Just clean it up a little bit and put something lightweight in there just to handle the damage. Yeah, see, cheddar. A little more complicated to fix this, but since it's not really something that's going to be visible all the time, I may not even care enough to make it look decent. I can just clean up the metal and weld in some nice sheets, shape it as best I can, and as long as it goes in all right, call it good. Or find a Rebel that has a good trunk lid and just save myself all that trouble. Well, I'm going to try to fix the trunk, and I'll, since I can't hold the phone and do that at the same time, I'll see if I can't adjust it and get it to not rub.